Nyovest. What's the origins of that Nyovest? What is that?
Growing up, I was a big fan of Pharrell. At the In My Mind album, he used to go Yezer on every song.
Yeah.
So it actually started as Nyovest. That's how it started. I had to put a South African accent to it, and then it came out as Nyovest. And then when I opened my Facebook profile, you had to have a surname. So I just put the Nyovest there because it's a word that I made up. And then people started calling me Cassper Nyovest because of Facebook, and then I just ran with it.
Now, Cassper, you're a hip-hop artist representing South Africa. You put out an album this year in May. Guapale, who's from the Bay Area, but she's also African too, right?
Yeah, she's from South Africa.
Yeah.
We pronounce her name as Guapale.
What's going on with hip-hop in South Africa?
I think the first station to play hip-hop in South Africa was Bob Recording Studios, Bophuthatswana, the Northwest, that's where I'm from. So, well, it started, I guess, with just people trying to be cool. Because we had Kwaito music, that's our hip-hop, right? And then you had the suburban kids who related to hip-hop more. And then we had a clash between Kwaito and hip-hop, which is basically the same thing. It's just that hip-hop is from America and Kwaito is from South Africa.
And Kwaito, when you say, what is it? It's telling stories over...
Same thing, yeah.
Telling stories over drums.
Beat, yes. Kwaito sounded more like dancehall. Yeah, so it's a bit slower. But if you listen to the content, like these guys were rapping about the same things. It started blowing up crazy, and then now it's the most dominant genre in my country.
Hip-hop.
Hip-hop, yeah.
And so Kwaito is woven into the hip-hop culture. It's unified now.
Yes, so it's through Kwaito, now through us, because we grew up listening to Kwaito, and we are the ones who kind of merged that sound and the content and those hooks, and we sampled those songs, and then we put them into like trap songs, and we made it more interesting for the kids, and then also the elderly who grew up listening to Kwaito were able to just enjoy the music together. And
you called the OGs the elderly. That's disrespect, B.
For real? But we don't speak like that. We don't say like OGs and whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Let's get to a record. What's the biggest record off this, and how do you pronounce the name of the album? Thuto.
Thuto. Yeah, that's my sister's name, and it means knowledge, education. The biggest record on the album is Titomboweni, which was the leading single. It's a trap song. Titomboweni means money, but it's actually someone's name. He was the first black governor of the Reserve Bank. In the hood, that's like slang for money when you say Titomboweni. Yeah.
Oh, that's still get that Titomboweni.
Yeah, Titomboweni.
When you say it's trap, obviously trap has become its own sound. So that's how you guys style the drums and pattern the sonics of the music after trap music out of Atlanta.
South African hip-hop is basically on par with everything that's going on in America in terms of production. So whatever that's popular in Atlanta or America is probably popular in South Africa because of the internet and just because of how much Western influence, we have it on our country. So that's why I keep on saying trap, because right now trap is the sound. So
right. So, but it doesn't speak to how you guys made the production at all.
No, with us it's really just production of the music.
Right.
It's not the lifestyle, or when you say lifestyle, I'm thinking about like selling drugs. And,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So we don't sell drugs, or we don't have that story of having to sell drugs to make it or anything. It's just, for us, it's just really just music.
Cassper Nyovest is here. He's got the new project, just came out, 16 records. I saw or heard of you through social media, and that's why when I heard you was coming to town, I was like, yo, we gotta get him up here.
Yeah.
Then your fans was like, nah, B, you gotta talk to Cassper. I was like, well, okay, I'm on it, guys, right away. They were just celebrating you, or is there more of a story there? Like, hip-hop in America.
There's a bit of a story, but there's rivalry, I guess. There's like beef to it. Me and one of the dudes didn't really get along like a while ago. It's a long story. I don't like talking about it because then the whole headline of this interview is
bringing too much light to that instead of the music.
But the other thing is, like, I'm the biggest where I'm from. So when you speak about hip-hop music in Africa, you have to start with me.
Cassper Nyovest, what should we play right now?
Yeah, play the intro of the album. It's my favorite record.
Why? Because the energy when it comes on.
explained where I was when I was making this album. It's called Confused. So that's basically a summary of where I was in my mind when I was making this album.
Cassper Nyovest is here. It's Beats One, Apple Music, South Africa, checking in heavy. This is your guy, man. Cassper say he's the biggest in South Africa, period. Biggest in Africa for rap, too, right?
I was voted the hottest MC in Africa for 2 years in a row.
And who made that?
OK Africa.
Subscribe to
One Africa Fest went down in Brooklyn. How was the vibes for you, man?
For me, it's very exciting because to be performing at a predominantly Afrobeat festival and be a hip-hop act and just to be embraced as I am. Because a lot of people are trying to jump on the Afrobeat wave. And I always tell my friends that these Afrobeat artists have been working for so long, grinding for so long. They've been ridiculed, they've been, laughed at. And now that they're shining, everybody from Africa or who has an aunt in Africa is trying to jump on it. Like, I'm also from Africa, I can do Afrobeat. So I'm not one of those. I just decided I'm going to do what I do, and that's hip-hop music. And for, the wave to embrace me like that is really, really dope.
Cassper Nyovest. What should we play, bro? Let's go.
You could play a record called Nyegeleni with Black Thought, one of my favorite MCs of all time.
Yo, B, you know how many people gonna love you for saying that?
Yeah,
Yo, Black Thought is one of the most overlooked MCs of all time.
Of all time. I got to be in studio with him, and I got to see a master at work, man. I'd never seen anything like that in my life. He recorded 2 verses in about 30 minutes and had me pick the one I liked. I was so intimidated I couldn't even finish the song that night because I'm like, he's such a master. And he didn't even want to do that song. He was like, yo, we could do this. He played a lot of rap songs. And I was like, the one thing I'm not going to do is jump on like a boom bap song with Black Thought because I'm just going to get eaten up. So maybe just try some, trap sounding, vibe that I'm comfortable on. And he was like, yo, whatever. He wrote the song, same content on 2 verses, speaking about the same thing and mentioning my name on both verses and had me pick the verse. And he slept while I was writing. And I was just, that's when I realized that, I'm like maybe 20 years away from winning a Grammy, because I thought I was winning a Grammy one day in my life until I was in studio with a Grammy winning artist. And I was just like, it's another level of operating. His mind he's a genius.
How do you pronounce the title of this song?
Nyegeleni. Yeah, it's this African swag.
And what's that mean, Nyegeleni?
I mean, the direct translation is leave me alone, but it actually means I'm in the league of my own. Yo, that rhymed.
Bars are just...
you know what I'm saying, baby?
That's what it is. Cassper Nyovest, Beats One, Apple Music. Cassper Nyovest, the project Thuto, named after your sister. Yeah. Tell me a song that was like, this record right here is why I started rapping.
I could play, there's a song called Nugo on the album. It's more of a neck. Yeah, you should listen to that record. That's the one thing that nobody can do like me. When I rap in my mother tongue and mix it with English, that's...
and when you say your mother tongue, what?
Setswana.
Swala.
Setswana.
Yo, this is a whole new world.
Yo, man, who ever thought that you have a South African cat talking about Setswana rap on
rap.
Beats One?
I love it, man. Beats One, Apple Music, live in over 100 countries right now. Let's get it. Cassper Nyovest. What's a legendary artist that you feel like really inspired you?
Kanye.
What Kanye album?
College Dropout.
Got it.
Like my whole believing in dreams came from that album. He's a dropout. I dropped out when I was 16 as well. And I opened my own record label. And for me to be out here years later and still doing it and still making history, all comes from just believing in myself and being such a believer in God as well because of Jesus Walks. Not because of Jesus Walks, but
that type of song.
Yeah, I really related to his aura at that moment, you know what I'm saying? So he's been a very great inspiration all my life, and just being someone who stands out, not afraid to, be yourself, even though people judge you or whatever, and always just breaking boundaries. Like Kanye's been a very great inspiration to me.
Before I let you up out of here, make sure everybody picks up this project, Thuto, available in Apple Music, and it's named after your sister because...
Yeah. All my albums are named after family members.
Just always.
So yeah, my first album was named Solofelo, which is my little sister, because she gave me her last lunch money for me to travel to the big city of Johannesburg.
Amazing.
When I started this rap thing, and so I named the album after her just to let her know that I didn't forget the sacrifice that she made. My second album was titled Rifilwe, which is my name, and that's the sequence that we were born in. So my little sister, then me, and then my elder sister Thuto.
Got it.
I had an older brother who passed on. That'll probably be my last album. Like the day I make my last album,
Name it after your brother.
Yeah.
Cassper Nyovest. It was a pleasure meeting you, man.
Before I go, man, I'd just like to invite everybody on the 2nd of December. I'm doing maybe hip-hop's biggest concert. I'm doing 75,000 people. If you can, you should come out there.
And when you say hip-hop's biggest concert, what do you mean?
Yeah. It'll be my own concert.
Just you?
Well, I mean, I have a lineup of people performing with me.
You can't tell us who yet?
I can't tell you yet.
When do you make the announcement?
I just made the announcement.
It's
not
you
about
want me
the
to make some
lineup.
announcements? You want me to drop some exclusives?
What you mean?
Cassper just told me blank is coming to the show.
Nah, we don't have. We have Cassper out there. You know, the whole thing about the concert is just
coming to the show, Ebro. You know what I'm saying? We can do that each time.
Yeah. Johannesburg, 75,000 on the 2nd of December. History. Yo, you a bit slow there.
I was. That last one was whack. History against that.
History, baby. See you there. Get your tickets. Woo! You sound like Travis Scott's DJ. It's been a dope interview, man. Thank you so much.
Cassper Nyovest, man. Pick up his project, Thuto.
South Africa.
Right now.
YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Cassper Nyovest. What's the origins of that Nyovest? What is that?
Growing up, I was a big fan of Pharrell. And the In My Mind album